Hello, MaximumRD. This is Zagrocept. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I have a bit of a fan running in the background. I run a small channel called Tuts and Stuff, and I do a lot of digging around, and generally there's not much on my channel right now. I don't clutter it up with stuff that's already out there most of the time. That and it takes me ages to upload anything to YouTube, which is why this is in the standard definition right now, even though I have a high-def camera finally. My question to you is this. How hard is it for you to get a hold of those overlays for your controllers? I've had great success with my arcade machines in the past. Unfortunately, they're all in storage right now, which is probably getting ruined. Thankfully, there aren't very many of them, and the cabinets are mediocre to begin with. But I used to restore them and resell them. I know how to make various overlays using standard printers, etc. Show you how to protect them, make them last, go the distance, last as long as you need. I was wondering if a tutorial on how to make the overlays for some of your various control joysticks would be of interest to you. The downside is a few of the, well, all of them, I don't have the actual joysticks to. But as long as I can acquire a halfway decent scanned image of the original overlay, I can recreate said overlay. I can either do it with a high-resolution scan of the original, or I can recreate it using vector graphics, etc. The process used is usually a laminate system. Basically, there's two ways of going about it. You can either go with printing onto a glossy sheet and then using a sticky laminate over that, or you can go with the printing from a photo printer. Not just any photo printer, but specifically the Kodak photo printers. A Kodak photo printer puts a clear top layer of plastic over the entire photo, and all the median sections are bonded to the paper itself. I've had very good luck with chopping these things up with scissors, and there is a little bit of treating involved, but I was wondering if that might interest you. I've been looking for a new tutorial to do, and this seems like something that would be interesting. The main thing I would need is a small selection of games and the lend of a joystick. It doesn't have to be a working one, of course. The reason I say the joystick itself is because even if you gave me a base template, it's better to check for fit, etc. with the joystick. That way I can work out a cut template, and basically makes it easier to show people who don't have one already on hand. Maybe they only have the joystick, and I don't want to just sit there and fiddle around with a very hard to get a hold of actual overlay that I don't want to get bended, folded, or creased. Although I could use one as a base template. But just scans and something to make sure that the fit's right. And I think it would make a very good tutorial. I do have most of everything I need here. About the only thing I would really need to pick up is the high bond paper, which is actually more of a plastic. It's several different ways you can do it. Well, I'm not going to go into too far. I'll basically explain half the method to you, and you'd be like, maybe I'll try this and get confused halfway through. It does take about 30 to 40 minutes of fiddling with each one once it's printed to make sure that it is fully bonded and it's not going to separate on you. Doing it at home, an overlay may cost you 75 cents or $1 and a little bit of time. Having one recreated from scratch on like a vinyl sheet, probably 20-30 bucks. Printing one out on standard paper wouldn't last you more than a couple minutes. But this is an idea that was floating around since I started watching your site and poking around some of the other sites of the game systems that use overlays, that A, they're very hard to get a hold of, entire games with overlays, and B, due to memory, if memory serves correctly, they tend to wear out rather quickly. So that might be something for you to think about there. Give me a ping back, and let me know what you think. The sideline, I've actually registered at Atari Age because I am looking for a Commodore 64. I want a Commodore 64 to go with all these bloody Commodore discs that I own. I have a great big old box full of Commodore programs. Well, and a couple PC programs. Programs, manuals, Grand Theft Auto for some reason. But yeah, that box is plumb full of Commodore programs and a few old PC DOS games. I acquired said box by pure chance. I was picking up some software from a friend that I'd left behind, and he had it in his attic. Unfortunately, he no longer had the machine for it. I did have a Commodore 128, a very unique Commodore 128. To my knowledge, I haven't seen much in the way of these things elsewhere. Had a separate keyboard, looked like a standard PC, kind of looked like an IBM PC Junior almost, but no, it was a Commodore 128. Unfortunately, he wanted it back, and I had to give it to him. And I couldn't pry it away from him at the time because I didn't have the money for it. But I am looking at a Commodore 64 on Atari Age, and hopefully I will be able to acquire it as soon as I can get posting privileges. So we'll see how that goes. The only thing that scares me is the post of people that never deliver their stuff. I'm always worried about that. My disposable cash is very, very slim. I'm sure you can imagine. But I would like to know what you think of the value of replacement overlays would be. Who knows? Maybe we can a few extra bucks making overlays. Given the time, let's see, to do an entire arcade front nose stock in 3 parts would take me about 4 hours. Doing a single overlay on a single sheet probably take me anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes. That's printing, post-setting, and all of the cutting and nipping required. Ultimately, if this becomes something that I do a lot of, I will make a jig that'll cut the pieces out in one fell swoop. As it sits now, though, it's X-Acto knife. But yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say at the moment. Also, have you noticed this? Computers have made a complete 360-degree spin. Back in the early days, your computer connected to your television. Then computer resolution increased, and we went to monitors because it had a better picture. Now, your computers hook up to your television again. Even if they're very large televisions. And as soon as the e-keyboards come out, again, they're just going to be keyboards attached to TVs all over again. Yeah, something else. Well, this is Zagro signing out for now. I'll leave this post up for a week or so. Once I've seen it or gotten a reply or what have you, I'll take it down because I only have one channel. I might leave it up, who knows. But if something actually comes of it, I'll leave it up as a starting point. But yeah, let me know what you think. Also, if there's anything you need demonstrated, I am a technician. I do board level repairs. If you have a console that's acting wonky and you really wanted to get working, give me a yodel. I can usually help you get running. Like all those monitor problems you've been having, Google's a wonderful place. every single one of those systems has a pinout on. Well, of course, every system has a pinout, but the pinouts on the monitors themselves, are on the outputs to the monitors. They generally carry some pretty standard signals, regardless what the jack looks like. Sometimes they require a resistor in line or a little capacitor to beef up the signal, or filter it down to an acceptable level for an alternate unit. But a lot of systems can be fed into an old VGA monitor. All you have to do is split Chroma YB and Chroma YB and deflection sync, I believe is what it is, or it might be horizontal sync. I'm not sure without the page in front of me. Anyway, adapter jacks are rather easy to make. Well, if you don't mind burning your fingers. But anyway. Let me know if you've got a system that's completely unconnectable, and let me know a couple of things you can actually connect it to. I'll look up the pinouts and see if I can make you a converter cord for said system. Other than that, the question, and if you don't mind asking, since I don't have very many people on my channel that would respond to this, since they're not really into the old computer systems, I have a Tandy 1000 5 1/4 inch drive system. It does have the built-in chip, so it will boot. I know the system works. It does composite out and CGA. I have some CGA monitors, I just can't get to them. They're stuck in the back with the arcade machines. Fortunately, they're probably in better condition than the cabinets themselves, considering the monitors were put in the cabinets for safekeeping, and they're in plastic bags. Well, big, thick plastic bags, like you pack clothes in and vacuum seal. But I can't get to them, so it doesn't matter. My problem is I need a starter set of discs. I need like DOS 3 or DOS 4 on some 360K discs. 3.3 would probably work fine. I have no equipment to work my way down to a 360K disc. I tried connecting a 5 1/4 inch drive to several machines in the house, and the only computer I own that would even properly register the drive is a Packard Bell 486 DX266. Unfortunately, the drive in it will not write a 360K disc. It formats it, but none of the 360K systems I've tried it on will read any of the discs. And I did check them on some other machines that would read other 360K discs and pull up the directories, even though they weren't compatible subsystems. They would read the directories, etc. This machine can read its own discs, but can't create any and won't read any other 360K discs. It's not a cleaning problem. I've checked, and I just need something older. And unfortunately, I have a gap of quite a few years from the Tandy 1000 to a Packard Bell 486. I used to have some Midway machines. Unfortunately, well, actually, I do still have some Midway machines, but none of them have a 5 1/4 inch drive. They're all 720K floppies, 3.5 inch drives. I really want to get that Tandy up and running again. A couple of games I want to get for it and run, just for the Tandy 3-voice sound. I played them once at a friend's house. I loved the games. I never did get a chance to finish them. I have access to them again in their original formats. I just don't have anything to boot the system off of properly. The chip DOS does not have enough of the command prompt system in there to get the bloody programs to run. So I need a DOS disk 3.3 or better. The system does not have a full 640K RAM, so I'm limited to the 300 and something K that came with the system. I am also looking for upgrades for the old Tandy 1000s, specifically the rest of the memory to go on the main board. So if you know somebody with that, let me know. But at the moment, I am waiting for my Atari Age registration to go through so I can put in a price on a Commodore 64 with 2 disk drives. I'd be happy with one. I'd be happy with the tape drive. I got a box full of tapes for it, too. Okay, this is Agro signing out. I've jibber-jabbered enough.